Okay, so good
Yes, sure.
afternoon, everyone. And thank you again for joining another session of Royal Cyber. So today we have a very and how an organization can choose the right data warehouse for their company. Okay. And I think before we go over a little bit more deep, I think one thing is very important is why would an organization choose a data warehouse? So data is the new oil. So I think, and I think this is so I think it's kind of very important for an organization. And but like oil, the data has to be refined. So if it is not refined, then it's a useless. So in order to make the value out of the data, and that is where a data warehouse plays a very big role, right? So data warehouse with all its features like data quality, getting data from different data sources, and then getting the data ready so it can be used for different reports for customers, for businesses. So this is where I think what we will be talking about in this session. Okay, so quickly I will introduce the agenda, and then I have two very senior people who will be going over this session in more detail. So, so what we will talk about in today's session is we'll start with the Royal Cyber focus areas. We'll see, I mean, how where Royal Cyber focuses on the data engineering side. And we will also go over our assessments. We have a huge list of assessments. We'll go over what these assessments are and how it can help an organization. And then Mirik, who is our senior architect, he will go over in detail about the modern data architect. And he will talk about mainly what are the different components which are involved in a data warehouse, what strategies and methodologies are currently popular within organizations. And then if a company is choosing a right data warehouse based on their requirements, how can they choose the right data warehouse and what they should be thinking about when choosing this right data warehouse. And finally, we will go over some of our case studies. We have, as a Royal Cyber, as a leader in digital transformation for over 20 years, we have worked with many organizations, and we have worked in data modernization projects in different industries, BFSI, in B2B, in retail, CPG. So we have worked in almost all kind of organizations. So we will talk about some of those case studies. And then finally, we also have a very a small quiz. There are 10 questions, and whoever wins, there are 3 prizes as well. So we'll be giving 3 prizes for that the quiz as well. Okay, so I will ask now my colleague Saurav to go over our Royal Cyber expertise.
Yeah, thanks, Josefa. So, I'm not going to take much of your time because I think the meat of this presentation is going to be on data warehousing. We will try to go a little bit technical on that, right? But not too much technical, right? So I'll just spend some time on 3 slides, right? So our areas of expertise from a overall data perspective, right? Uh, are the architectures that we normally have built or have been building or will continue to build with our clients, right? And I'm going to talk about a little bit about our assessment, right? So from our key areas of expertise, we do everything, right? So if you really ask me, what are the 3 main USPs for Royal Cyber? Data is at the top, right? So we predominantly consider ourselves as the one-stop shop for data platform implementation, data platform modernization, right? And what we don't do is we are not a very big proponent of saying that, hey, you want to do data modernization or convert legacy to more modern implementation, we'll give you heads or we'll give you engineers who do that, right? So we come in with a very uh, comprehensive approach when we actually do data implementation or modernization, right? So our areas of expertise is the overall data strategy and the roadmap, build it for our clients, which also includes, and we always start with data maturity assessments, right? Which helps us develop some good strategies and roadmaps, right? Obviously, cloud data modernization, and this is actually a series that we are doing on data modernization. The first one was on overall data modernization, the second one was on the analytics, and now the third one is going to be on data modeling, data architecture, data warehousing, which is this one, right? Obviously, data integration, ETL, connectivity between different data sources, automated workflows, integration, creating frameworks, right, for your data engineering pipelines. So that's something that we do. Data warehousing, which we are going to be talking about today. Mirek is going to be spending some time on data warehousing. Data governance, compliance, security, lineage, cataloging, all those good stuff, right? We have the expertise in that. Real-time data streaming, whether if you're not looking for a batch, D-1, but you're looking for, let's say, a real time, we have expertise in that. Event-driven architectures. So whether if you want to use Azure as a iPaaS or any of the event-driven architectures, so we have expertise in that, right? For real-time data processing, business intelligence, dashboards, insights, working through helping clients achieve, go through the maturity model of descriptive, predictive, prescriptive, and then try to go into cognitive. AI analytics, so again, predictions and solutions, right? And big data processing, right? I mean, that's something that we do in and out almost on a daily basis with multiple clients in multiple industry space, right? Whether it is BFSI, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is retail, whether it is B2C, right? So we predominantly have multiple clients where we do this, right? Going to the next one. So, we are experts in uh, data architecture. We have very strong data architects like Mirek. We have other data architects, practice heads, who are well versed and experts in modern data architecture. They understand modern data architecture. I know Mirek is a pretty big fan of TOGAF, so that is something that he uses for building a very efficient business architecture, Mirek, or data architecture, however you want to call it. Data architecture. Data architecture, right? So we try to follow a lot of standards when we come in and present it to a client, right? Obviously, Data Vault 2.0 methodology, Dan Linsett's baby. We are a big proponent of that, and we have implemented that in multiple data warehouses like Snowflake with our clients. Lakehouse architecture, which seems to be the new buzzword for your medallion architect. I don't know whether it's the medallion architecture, Lakehouse architecture. Microservices architecture is something that we are very familiar with. Again, we have implemented event-driven architecture again, I go back to Azure as iPaaS, right, where you have event grid and all that we implement for real-time processing and processing based on event. Medallion architecture, I'm not going to go much in there. Everybody's aware of it. Bronze, silver, gold. That's kind of the new buzzword in the industry, as I've been told. Lambda architecture and Kappa architecture. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that again, we don't go into a client engagement or an implementation with a very restricted mindset, saying this is the architecture what we need to build, right? So we have expertise uh, in all these architecture, right? Along with having expertise in the different tools or applications or uh, in the data world, right? So we come in with a very open mind, and we basically help client adopt a particular architecture using standards, as well as also telling clients what would be the best applications or tools that they can use in their data framework. Okay, so now the last one of my slides, modernization assessments, right? So again, as we said, if it doesn't matter if it is a new engagement, doesn't matter if it's an engagement which we are doing for a certain period of time. We do a lot of assessments. We also do a lot of evaluation, right? So the assessments that we normally do, we do data maturity assessments, cloud readiness assessment, data quality assessment, integration assessment, security compliance, and advanced analytics readiness, right? So all of these assessments are pretty comprehensive, ranging from 2 to 3 weeks, and you know, depending on what client wants or what we have told the client that this is the way to go ahead creating their data strategy or their data roadmap, we also will do these assessments. Now, apart from these assessments being done in the beginning of an engagement, right? We do a lot of assessments and evaluation during the engagement, right? One of the things that we do, which is kind of a very strong point, is we do a very transparent evaluation of the work that we have done for a particular client. So that does two things, right? That tells us where we are and what we need to change or what we need to improve, and it also gives client the transparency that Royal Cyber knows uh, what they're doing, what they're building, right? So these were my 3 slides. I'm going to stop here for 10 seconds if anybody has any questions on this. Okay. I'll ask Mirek now to come in and walk you through the good part, right? So yeah, go ahead, Mirek. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sarav. So again, my name is Mirek Vitek. I've been a data architect for 22 years. So I want to kind of dive deep into today's challenges around data warehousing and what a modern data warehouse is. A lot has changed in the last 40 years since Kimball first invented the data warehouse. So that we're going to be going through an entire journey and technologies and everything else related to the data warehouse. So key challenges today in today's modern landscape around data warehouses are as follows. These 6 areas are challenges that are oftentimes at clients. One is data volume. Oftentimes clients deal with managing exponential data growth up to petabytes, zettabytes, and they want that without any performance degradation. Number 2 is data quality, ensuring accuracy to prevent any costly insights when it finally gets to their semantic layer, reporting layer, for Power BI, for example. Number 3, the integration complexity is a big factor. That's where the heart of everything lies in the ETL pipelines and anything else you're using to connect with your diverse operational sources and formats. A lot of companies have mainframe systems that are being updated today. Real-time analytics is the next challenge. There is a demand for instant insights or real-time insights beyond the traditional batch processing. Number 5, security risks, addressing sensitive PII, PCI type info that might be exposed, especially in industries such as the insurance industry, in the healthcare industry. We always want to be aware of what security risks might happen to our customer data. And number 6, just a general talent shortage around the data warehouse expertise. It requires you to be proficient in a lot of different areas to understand what are the disadvantages and advantages of each type of data warehouse. So moving on to the next slide here, let me minimize this here. An enterprise data warehouse is not just centralizing your data warehouse or centralizing your data. It's much more than that, and it can meet several requirements. It's a sophisticated ecosystem designed to store, manage, and analyze data across your entire organization for all departments. Unlike the data mart in near your reporting layer, the enterprise data warehouse serves as your centralized hub for all of your business data. Oftentimes, it's referred to as a source of truth or a source of record for decision making. Last year alone, the global market for the enterprise data warehouse solutions was estimated at 14 billion. That's 2023, not 2024 here. 71.5 billion is projected by 2030, and it's growing rapidly in the next decade here. Okay, so what components make up an enterprise data warehouse? An enterprise data warehouse can have multiple layers based on your requirements and your functional use cases. However, there are some key areas that are present in every single data warehouse. The heart of the data warehouse is the ingestion layer. This is where the data is pulled from different sources into the centralized data warehouse. It uses either ETL or ELT. ELT is a little bit more common nowadays to kind of clone your data and then have a copy of your data and then do transformations against that data. Your presentation layer is required. That's your layer with your Power BI interface. It enables all your business processes, your business logic, and allows your end users who might not be technical to see everything in an easier format and to make decisions on the fly as they need to. The storage layer, this is where all your data, especially your data at rest, is kept. By data at rest, I mean data that's going to be kept for long term, such as your historical data. Many data warehouses use the Inmon model, which is third normal form. That's a relational database for storage. This layer also manages any additional databases and also stores metadata. Metadata module is the fourth and final required component on the enterprise data warehouse. It's simply data about data, as many of you know. It helps administrators and users understand what the data means. It can be either technical or it can be business related, like sales regions. All metadata is stored in a separate section and managed by specialized tools depending on what platform you're using. Many times clients have two additional optional areas or layers, as I call them, for data engineering. One is the data mart. Data marts are small sections focused on specific topics or departments. You might have a claims department, insurance refund department, and that needs to be aggregated at a different layer of data. Modelers call that data grain. It's the layer or subsection of data for either a department or a date, essentially. Staging area comes after your landing zone when you get data from your source system. This is where data is prepared before getting into the heart of the data warehouse. There is cleaning and duplication done, but usually this is not to a major extent. It's done so it adheres to the data platform that you will be using for your enterprise data warehouse. Key factors and considerations that are common to all clients who are considering a data warehouse are as follows. Business goals, most importantly, define your clear objectives, and that's what determines your functional use cases. What are you trying to solve? Who are your stakeholders? Are they technical? Are they not technical? What level of aggregation do you need? Data analytics. You're identifying the types, levels, methods of data analysis that you want to perform, whether it be descriptive, diagnostic, or predictive. Data governance is a huge umbrella that defines things like RBAC controls, any data quality tools, processes you might have, data ownership, auditing, compliance, monitoring. Data sources, as I mentioned, you need to consider whether you're using legacy, how many generations old it is, and whether it's able to be integrated easily into your main data platform. Data model is the structure of the data in the data warehouse. You design your data model based on your business logic and requirements. Data platform determines the kind of data infrastructure you're going to use for your data warehouse. You want to consider all possibilities based on whether it's on-premise, cloud, or hybrid, based on the budget, scalability, security, and maintenance needs. Here's a short slide on just skills that are needed at a company to succeed without any to avoid any road bumps. And these are the four we recommend. One is data analysis and visualization. You always want to identify individuals or teams with expertise in data analysis, visualization, reporting tools. This is because you're creating this gigantic architecture, and at the end of the day, everything's going to the end user. So you want to make sure your end users are comfortable with what you're creating for them. Number two, data management and governance. This determines, again, you need to determine basically professionals who understand the risks around data management tasks, around data integration, transformation, data quality. Data governance experts can basically ensure compliance with regulations such as in insurance, healthcare, and provide you with the best practices for your organization. Number three, technical proficiency. You always want to evaluate your technical expertise based on the tools you want to use. That includes data administration, data modeling, ETL processes, and just general high-level familiarity with modern-day data warehousing technologies and architectures. Four, your business and domain knowledge are critical. You want to assess if you have individuals who possess that deep understanding of your organization's business processes and that domain-specific knowledge. Okay. Any questions about skills or the previous slide regarding factors and considerations? All right, I'm going to continue and we can go to data modernization trends. Across the last year or two, as many of you know, AI has been hot, obviously. We have OpenAI and all of that has been in the news. AI and ML integration, utilizing AI machine learning on top of your data warehouse is important for automated data analysts, predictive modeling, and automated data pipelines. Other trends that we've seen recently, incorporation of real time, which is a little bit older, but we're always looking to integrate batch loading with real-time data. Real-time data is any kind of data you need to be processed immediately for an automated action and for a collection. Next thing is relational to graph databases and NoSQL. These are the graph visualizations, oftentimes shown as nodes. That's one of the newer types of enterprise data warehouse technologies. And then data fabric, data mesh have been two ongoing methodologies and frameworks that basically encompass your entire organization to manage data across various departments and environments. So popular data warehousing vendor platform technologies today. The five main ones that have the biggest market share here are going to be Snowflake, Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery, Databricks, and then Azure Synapse Analytics. You want to kind of customize it based on what your business requirements are and what you're looking for. Depends on your scalability and your expertise. For example, Snowflake is best known as data warehousing as a service. It's one of the most SaaS-based solutions out of these five right now. However, it doesn't have some of the pre-built configurations such as what Google BigQuery might have or Azure might have. Amazon Redshift is a fully managed petabyte scale data warehouse. If you're growing quickly, scaling quickly, this is a great option. Google BigQuery is serverless and also comes with already pre-made models and infrastructure. Databricks, one of the best platforms for unified analytics, for AI, for any kind of machine learning that you might be doing. And then Azure Synapse Analytics shares something in common with Google BigQuery that also comes with those pre-built models and infrastructure. It allows you to get a head start without any kind of significant modeling effort before. So you have everything, you have all your services together on Azure Fabric. Azure Synapse Analytics is a component that brings data integration, enterprise data warehousing, and big data analytics all in one nice package. Any questions about any technology platforms or trends? All right, next thing So when you're considering these kind of technology platforms here, again, what I consider the most important thing is your use cases, your requirements matching. Always evaluate vendor solutions against your specific business requirements and your technical functional use cases. You want to make sure you can support this long term with the team you have and the expertise at hand. Cost analysis is a second factor. You want to compare pricing models, licensing fees, ongoing maintenance costs to determine the best value for your company based on what you need. Vendor reputation, research, make sure you do as much research as possible, review, Gartner reports, anything else that recognizes reliability, expertise. Fourth, support and training. Assess the quality of your vendor support services and your training resources to ensure a smooth implementation. And the way you do that oftentimes is from the fifth factor here, you want to do a POC. You always want to have a trial period where you can assess performance and suitability for your specific use cases as part of your first factor requirements. All right, so tradition mod.
I think there is a question.
Yeah, Tariq, what's your question?
Yeah, thank you, Merrick, for explaining the data warehousing concepts and everything. I really enjoyed that. Now, one quick question, right, regarding the trends. Now, you future trends as well. You mentioned Fabric, right? So Fabric, as we know, is like a one-stop shop, integrating ETL options, data lakes, warehousing, and analytics all in one, right? Including
correct,
the
yes.
AI, yeah, including the AI part as well. So now we know that Databricks is a hot tool for big data analytics and the AI algorithms or AI models that we need to deploy. But do we know that is Databricks going in a direction like Microsoft Fabric, where they create a one-stop kind of a shop that you buy one license and Databricks becomes part of it along with an ETL tool, along with the advanced analytics tools that we have in the market. So is Databricks gonna go in that direction, or it's going to be kind of a standalone thing that is happening right now?
Yeah, right now I looked at several articles and statements from the CEO on LinkedIn and other places, and they are adding and merging with other technologies. It looks like they are moving toward the Fabric. They haven't officially announced yet, but my take is that they are going to be a Fabric eventually in the future. It might not be in the next year, but in the next few years. That's kind of the direction, and based on the statements from the CEO, that's kind of where they want to move towards.
I think SAP already started, right?
Yeah, SAP is already a great competitor, and they've already started that movement. Yep.
Right. Uh, Thank you for that. One more follow-up question on that, right? So now we know that real-time streaming is becoming a big thing right now. So in your experience, right, based on all of these, the warehousing or the big data warehousing technologies that we're seeing right now, which is the most, user friendly or easiest to implement regarding real-time streaming data? I know that, ETL tools will be involved in that, but the integration of a real-time data source into these warehousing systems, the modern one, which do you think is more, friendly and or developer friendly, you can say, to integrate out of these sources?
I don't know. I would actually say it's a tie between Google BigQuery and Azure Synapse, based on the fact it comes with the services already and the plug and play and has everything already set up for you. For real-time services, Azure Synapse has a real-time solution already built into the Fabric. So that would be my thought. Snowflake obviously also has a solution, but you have to work a little harder to get that. Amazon Redshift also. So I would say Google BigQuery and Azure Synapse Analytics are out of the box the friendliest when it comes to real-time pipelines. But I want to definitely get back to you on that question, because I like to kind of see for myself who has the largest market share of the real-time processing.
No, I don't think he's
Right.
Well, I want to see what reviews say about these vendors, so I can see what's actually the easiest based on the testing people have done so far.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you, Merrick.
No problem. All right, so next thing. So this is a little bit more technical. This is what your modelers are going to be doing. So data modeling has been around since 1970s, very long time, last 40 years. And there's many different approaches. There's traditional monolithic approaches, and there's also modern approaches. And both of these can be combined into hybrid type models across the board, across your different data engineering layers. And there's countless examples of all of these working successfully at many different companies. But this is a key factor that you need to consider when you pick a technology platform and an enterprise data warehouse. So traditional approaches are Kimball. That's the oldest approach out of all of these. That's your dimensional modeling or star schema approach. Oftentimes, this is used in your data marts, your semantic layer, probably in your data mart layer, most likely, which provides you easy access and excellent performance for Power BI, for example. Inmon is he's known as the grandfather of the modern enterprise data warehouse. That's a normalized approach where you have one grain for everything and a relational system as your enterprise data warehouse. Linstat was developed in the early 2000s. He developed this based on neurons and synapses in the brain. It's a kind of a hybrid approach that combines a hub and spoke model. It uses concepts such as hubs, links, and satellites. It's very good for scalability in industries that have, or companies that have a lot of sources, oftentimes 30 or more. It works very well. Oftentimes, I recommend that my clients use an automated solution along with Data Vault to kind of simplify their modeling procedures. Modernized approaches here, agile, iterative, incremental approaches for combined type. You can use a top to bottom approach. You can use a bottom up approach when you're creating different kinds of enterprise data architectures. One big table is just kind of an acronym for something next to your reporting layer that's a wide, flattened table that allows for quick access if you have minimal use cases. This is one big denormalized table, essentially. Entity-centric modeling is modeling around the source entities with JSONs to track metrics aggregates that might be like healthcare industry using HL7 aggregate models, things of that nature, where JSONs define the model and have embedded objects. Couple case studies. Yeah, Tariq, what's up? How can I help you?
Yeah, one quick question. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Sure.
Yeah. So just a simple question, right? So we all know and love, the Kimball dimensional modeling and the star scheme and all that stuff. I mean, it's been
So
there
do
for
I.
ages.
Right.
Yeah. Then we have Data Vault 2.0. And in my experience, right, I mean, Data Vault 2.0 methodology is very niche in the market right now. It's not being, implemented like, all across. Now, I just need to understand on which basis, right? Once you've done the discovery, the analysis of the data sources and their environment for any customer, on which basis you will suggest that we should go for a dimensional modeling approach or for a Data Vault 2.0 methodology?
This is a pretty loaded question. I could go into a whole presentation about that. So you want to look at your agility and your resources. A lot of times we use a methodology called TOGAF, the open framework for architectures, to kind of determine that. So factors you're gonna consider, I consider, are like scope, your functional use cases, the complexity of the use cases or the reports, and your degree of scalability. Linstat, Data Vault 2, you have to be 100% committed to it. You're going to scale. You want to scale fast, but at the same time, your users are going to need another layer on top of it to clarify what's in the Data Vault. You're essentially creating 300% more tables and breaking apart stuff from the staging, and then putting it back together again. The big advantage is now you have a full audit trail in Data Vault. And this provides a great view of the history and your audit trail across dimensions. Whereas Kimball is a very familiar approach that everybody knows from college or wherever, which is just a fact table surrounded by dimensions, oftentimes linked with a bridge table to a different star. So to answer your question, yeah, look at the agility of your business and look at your user base.
Yeah, and the industry space also is. So some industry would require historical data auditing. There are requirements there, right? So you know, both you, me, and Birek know insurance industry required that kind of data, right? Historical data for 25 years for audit purpose, right? Lineage, correct? Data lineage, right?
Well, data lineage is more of a mapping from upstream to downstream.
Yeah. I'm saying those are pretty agile in what Dan Lindstedt has done with Data Vault 2.0. I think the other thing which is also claimed is that if you are going with Mirek spoke about TOGAF, but if you're going with ITIL and all, Data Vault 2.0 has very standardized approach to implement ITIL or any other support standards, right? So that was a vision, right? Why he created 2.0.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem. So some of the case studies for modeling types here. So Amazon has recently actually switched over. They're using Kimball a lot right now. Kimball, by the way, is not just for denormalized stars. You can also use it for different grains of data, like atomic, for example. But they're using it basically effectively to kind of accelerate their query performance and making sure they have advanced data models to kind of streamline their real-time transactions. So this Kimball is very advantageous for them in terms of the responsiveness they need for their various customers and the shopping experience in general. Whereas Microsoft, for example, another case study here, healthcare system, patient records, they want to be very strict in terms of PII, restrictive access, and very modules which support PII and modular designs. And this is why they kind of went with an entity-centric approach, agile approach, which allows them to kind of make sure their data is consistent, while kind of making sure they're tracking their history over time here. Next thing here. So ensuring data architecture standards while choosing your data warehouse solution. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about standardization, but I want to just stress the importance of having a standard before you begin your data warehouse journey. Make sure you communicate it to your enterprise. Everybody needs to understand that, not just your IT department. The second component is the strategic component. It must be all-encompassing, so it's going to reflect the strategy and the direction your business is moving towards. The third thing, your collaborative approach. Data architecture has to collaborate with application architecture and also with your infrastructure and your business architecture too, your business processes. So everything needs to be in sync so it works optimally. And then structured framework you might want to consider is TOGAF. That's the most popular one in today's market. It provides you the most flexibility in terms of the different types of architectures and sources of data. So how does Royal Cyber help you build a data architecture and enterprise data warehouse? Well, what we try to do is we try to handle the people component first. It's very important that people understand that we are behind you for your business and for whatever your plans are. Any kind of methodology begins with identifying your business drivers for whether it be for modernizing, better reporting or whatever. It needs to be there needs to be an interview process first to kind of understand that. Once once that's identified, we can then kind of use tactics to design an architecture for you. Phase 2 would then involve kind of measuring and doing an assessment of your data architecture capabilities, setting a target date for the various capabilities, and identifying the tactics that would apply to your organization. And then finally, phase 3, since data is a product, we would personalize your data roadmap based on your data type and industry. Going forward, your data architectural decisions and resulting changes would be supported by us if there were any other questions or enhancements made. So this is just phase 1, for example, here. We have a business driver assessment to tailor a plan for your needs. This kind of ensures that we're working in the right area that you want to focus on, whether it's to become more data-driven, add new functionality or a new application or a rule, whether you're in the process of acquiring a company, merging, or you're doing this strictly for out of security PII purposes. This assessment determines what area we should focus on and what is most important to your organization based on the drivers you've told us. So this is a kind of a preview here. It's basically a pattern matching macro that identifies and gives you a result set based on how you answer the questions here. So any questions about these 3 slides? And now we can go into more detail about this per your questions at the end too. So again, Royal Cyber supports you in your whole modernization journey, however long or whatever the contract entails. We provide expert consulting, we provide solution architecture, data migration services, and ongoing support for your enterprise architecture. And here are some of our successes and stories. We're actively engaged. And these are some of our successes around data warehousing. So first case study here, instrumentation, engineering, manufacturing. So key challenges we often have to resolve are siloed, disparate data systems, issues with data availability, data quality. This is pretty much common for most of our clients. They have disparate data quality issues or data systems that need to be centralized. So yeah, this is one of our case studies. Another one we work in insurance, long-term care, healthcare. And then a third area here is food and beverage, and we have many more. I mean, we are adaptable to multiple industries and understand what comes with each industry and what kind of enterprise data warehouse is needed for your industry or your company.
Yeah, this also shows our experience, right? The first one was more about Microsoft from a tech stack perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second one, where we are actually talking about moving to Fabric. The second one is more conventional, using Snowflake, Data Vault 2.0 modeling on top of that. The third one is completely Azure, right? So this, we just put in 3 case studies. As Mirek said, we have more, but we just wanted to show the length and breadth of our expertise and our experience, and that we do end to end, right? Now it doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that we will not do phase-wise approach or just maybe come in and implement or build a strategy for warehousing. We can do that also, right? So we can do piecemeal also. We can we give piecemeal solutions also, but we are very well versed in doing end-to-end implementation, end-to-end modernization, support,
Right.
supporting of the data platform, right? Enhancing data platform. So we do all.
Yeah, very flexible. We're very flexible, adaptable. All right.
I think we have
So a quiz.
quiz. So
So
So I think Maheen, you are there online?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just sharing the
Yes,
screen.
Maheen.
Sure.
Sure, please.
Thank you.
So I will stop. I think you can take.
I'm
this.
just putting up the screen here. Is my screen shared?
Yes, it's visible for me. Yeah.
Yes, Maheen.
Sure. I'm just going
So-
I'll be starting the quiz. There is going to be a QR which is going to appear in front of you. I'll also be placing that with you sharing that link as well as the QR code in the chat so that it's easy and convenient for you to join. The QR code is here in front of you. The passcode is also given side beside this, so you may see that. I'm just placing it in the chat as well for your convenience.
Again, the first 3 people will get gift cards. So I think this is a time-based quiz.
Exactly, we'll be having 5 minutes with an extension of only 2 minutes exceptional. So the code is in front of is shared. The quiz link is shared. The passcode is 696077, and I'm going to begin it in next 1 minute. Please, so quickly join. So I think we are good to start. Countdown begins here. 30 seconds to go. Right, so we have got 8 participants appearing in front of us. Remaining are in the loop to join. I'm beginning the quiz. So here it goes. Yeah. All yours. You have 5 minutes to complete it, please.
I don't know if anybody gonna catch up to Martuza. I don't know. He's way ahead, way ahead.
Yeah, how is you mean the quiz? Looks like
This beams.
Around two more minutes to go. There is a good twist. The grading is going up and down. So there is a good competition among all of us.
now,
1 minute left.
Maheen, you can end the quiz now.
Sure.
No,
No.
just kidding.
Now you
You
can.
have still 1 minute to go.
Yeah, like video.
Well, no, you can't ask these. No. What asking the coach.
Saurabh, you won with the timing.
No, Hassan and
Fast.
I got one wrong actually.
Yeah, I got one wrong. Medallion.
Medallion silver.
Oh.
That was a bad question.
Yeah, it was a bad question. I thought it would be gold one, right?
I didn't even
No,
write that
it should
question.
be silver. Silver is the other. But the question was pretty.
Oh, the time is up.
Second last year.
Shall I end the quiz now? Because
Yeah,
the time is
yeah.
up.
Why is Awais making these kind of statements? This is insider trading. What is going on, Awais?
So here we go. Let's see who are the winners. Awesome. Saurabh is on the first rank. Then we have
Who took the lead from
Martuza.
Martuza and Nas.
So I explain data as well.
So I beat the senior data architect. You should. This is not good.
I didn't compete. You wouldn't have beaten me.
You can say all of the things. You didn't compete because you were scared.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time. And I think if you have any other questions, please let us know. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.